And now, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rimes.
And welcome to the show. Thanks so much for spending some time with us here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Our goal is to help you become a smarter consumer. We're going to make you more street smart here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. In the world of real estate, starting off as well, Jay Smith, A-Snoop Inspection, longtime friend of the Consumer Quarterback Show. We want you shopping local here with Jay Smith, a-snoop.com, A-Snoop Inspection. Rodrigo Torres also in the house, Mold Solutions of Tampa Bay. Of course, a lot of homes got affected by the floods and the waters and the hurricanes. So mold solutions, mold inspections, definitely something you want to be thinking about if you're on the purchasing side of real estate. Also, Ken Monroe, he's a tech expert. We're going to talk about his AI bots, all types of ways to streamline technologies in your business to become a more effective, more efficient company. No matter what business you're in, he can help you do that. Great lineup on the Consumer Quarterback Show, per usual. Also, how to become a builder's friend. So attention, realtors out there, home inspectors, people in the business, become a builder's friend. This is a interesting article in Florida Realtor Magazine we're going to talk about as well. Before we do, though, Dave, let's tell them about our party. You know, we always invite our audience out to our gratitude parties, and we got a good one coming up on the 20th. Gotta
love it when we go to the Tarpon Turtle, this time over on our side of the lake in Tarpon Springs. It's 1513 Lake Tarpon Avenue, which is going to be Thursday, March 20th, 6 p.m. The appetizers there, obviously fantastic as they are. It's going to be covered by the MVP Platinum team. And it's going to be a great time. I mean, the ambiance is fantastic. The view is awesome. I think you're going to be getting the actual pontoon boat out there for us just in case.
We're going to do a cruise.
And the networking is outstanding. It's always a good time when you can get in touch with other the show guests and supporters and actually get more in-depth conversations with everybody that you wouldn't be able to get on the show.
That's right. And Dave is not entertaining enough. We're going to have Corey Van Valen there as well, our magician. He's great,
He's
right?
Fun. He's so fun.
He's going to be fun. Yeah, it's going to be fun. And then we're also, hey, it's a business mixer. Come on out. It's a free event. We're twisting your arm to get there, right? Come on, Thursday, March 20th, 6 o'clock. Come on out and join us and network with us and meet our team. And, of course, if you know anybody buying, selling, investing, refinancing, bring them with you. We'd love to meet them, and that's what we do on a daily is helping people in the real estate business. Of course, we're going to feature our listings here as well, but also got an interesting clip. If you know the personality, ESPN personality, Stephen A. Smith, he had some interesting comments this week. I'm going to play a clip with him on The View.
Oh, he was on The View?
It was amazing. Yeah. I got that. I had to get that one in the show.
Yeah, I don't think they expected what he said.
No.
Pull that mic over a little bit, Jay. So we're going to have, they didn't expect that either. But here, a couple of hot listings here from the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. Let's start off with our highest price listing right now. It's 221 Howard Drive. This is a multi-million-dollar listing. This is around $3 million listing here on Howard Drive, Bel Air Beach, Florida. 5-bedroom, 3-bath, 3,500 square foot single-family home. Gorgeous 3-island kitchen, Thermador appliances, saltwater pool, 100 feet of water frontage with deep water access. So bring your boats, bring your jet skis. Enjoy that Florida lifestyle to the fullest. That's 221 Howard Drive, Bel Air. We also have a commercial property, 10129 Little Road. Mix it up a little bit. Of course, we do sell vacant land. We sell commercial. We sell residential properties. And this is a great example of a commercial property that we have listed, 10129 Little Road, Newport Richey. 2,300 plus square feet, over an acre of land, 1.09 acres. You have an office building, commercial property, currently operating as a chiropractor office on high visibility on Little Road. You are close to State Road 52, Highway 19, Suncoast Parkway. You have the ADA compliant entrance ramp and bathroom. 2 full baths, two half baths. You have a screened-in porch, paved patio in the back. New roof in 2020. Great opportunity to buy real estate at 10129 Little Road, Newport Richey, Florida. And you can see all of our real estate listings at PlatinumMVPTeam.kw.com. All right, Jay Smith, the Snoop Dogg, back in studio. Home inspections is his game. A-Snoop Inspection is the name. Welcome in, sir.
How you doing today?
Blessed and highly favored, brother.
Hey, nothing wrong with that.
Working hard.
Yeah, I got a busy week. I'll be working through the weekend.
But hey, that's good, man. It's better than the opposite, because a lot of realtors, a lot of people are down right now. The market is not what it was a year or two ago.
And I don't think it's going to get all the way back.
Yeah,
this year. I still think it's going to be a good year, but it's not going to be I don't believe it's going to be the craziness that we had.
Not as instant. Yeah, you definitely are not going to see all these things that are going on with the nation right now. There's a lot of good ideas, a lot of things. It's going to take time to work through, right?
Absolutely.
3 to 6 months.
And the thing of it is, it's funny, we got used to it just being so crazy, but that's not normal.
Yeah.
We're almost back to a normal market.
Right.
There's still plenty of transactions going on. But it's just not, you don't put it up for sale and it sells within a week. It's just not the same thing.
That's right. Well, what you're referring to is March of 22, and I've got the real estate stats here. I like to look at myself as not only a realtor but a local real estate economist. So right in front of me here, I've got the Pinellas County real estate stats. These are the non-distress, meaning no REOs in there, no short sales. So as far as active listings, right now, currently, as of last month, there's always a little lag in the data.
Little lag.
7,213 active listings, 7,200 listings active. In March of 2022, there were only 1,100 actives, right? And then let's go back to now. You had 1,000, almost 1,100 sold. So 7,200 active, 1,100 sold. That gives us a 15.1 absorption rate, which is a new low. Okay, so it's slower absorption. And then 6.6 months supply of inventory. That is a new high. So the inventory levels are the highest they've been in quite a while.
Yeah, I wonder what year is the last time we were that far out.
Right.
But 4 to 6 months, that gets back to a normal market.
Yeah, exactly. Your
now
balanced market. Yeah. You don't hear about balanced markets, do you?
No.
You always hear buyer or seller market.
Exactly. So we're right there in the middle, which means some properties are probably leaning more towards buyers and some of them are still seller's market. It depends on exactly where you are.
And you can still win on either side of the transaction. And when we say win, it's like, hey, this is a good deal for you. You're happy with that deal, not necessarily implying that there's a loser in the deal. When we're negotiating, we're not looking to hurt people. We're looking to, put a good deal together for our side, whether we're representing a buyer or a seller. And buyers can still win today, especially when you look at the sellers that are on the market for a little while. The days on market are up. They're looking to make deals. They're willing to do concessions, Jay.
Yeah, they are. Well, most are.
Most are, yeah. Some are just unrealistic and they're not going to sell. And that's another point. That's another great point I teach in my classes, that only 1/3 of all listings actually close. The other 2/3, 66%, do not end up closing. They end up canceled or expired, and then they relist it again with another realtor. And then sometimes they're hard-headed again and they relist it again with a third realtor. We see this all the time.
How many times is it going to go down?
Yeah, and then they're playing that game of chasing the market, reducing the price, trying to catch up to the market, whereas if they would have took the advice of the realtor in the first place, most of the time,
priced it correctly,
speaking,
all those things.
Yeah.
Or even fixed a couple things around the house to make it look better. Like a home inspector would come in and say, hey, you need to do this, you need to do that.
Right.
So it's all different. Education's a big thing. And then there's still, there's a certain amount of greedy people. I want to get that number.
There are.
You might get that number and you might not.
Yeah, and I'm not selling it, or you're in the middle of a negotiation. The inspection has a couple of issues. Oh, well, it's on principle, right? People will say, I'm not doing that because of the principle of it or whatever. It's like, okay, well, principle can get pretty expensive sometimes, and it can be counterintuitive because you did tell me you wanted to move closer to your grandkids, right? Or you did tell me that you wanted to get, one of your main goals was to get closer to work so you didn't have to commute 45 minutes, an hour and a half each way. So, yeah, and then another point on that topic is, you got days on market adding up. So then your perception is DOM equals enemy to a home value, right? So the home's value, the more days on market you have.
Well, you start questioning, why is it sitting there? What's going on?
Right.
Is the price too high? Is there something wrong that we're missing? There's all those things that start going through your mind.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. And if you just joined us, we're talking with Jay Smith. He is a longtime friend of the Consumer Quarterback Show, about 10 years or so. A-Snoop Inspection, a-snoop.com. You can utilize him on residential, commercial home inspections or property inspections, and also pre-construction. Jay is one that people sometimes often overlook, and we've got a little segment here on builders that I'll jump into. Give us a couple tips about buying new construction.
If you're doing new construction, I highly recommend the pre-drywall inspection.
Right.
You know, that you're looking at everything before they've covered it all up, because they cover it up. It's almost no different than a flipper. Let's see what we can cover up and hide from the inspector or hide from the new buyer. To a degree, it's the same on the new construction. And those guys are still cranking it out. I mean, new construction is still selling, and I think they're still overloaded a little bit, that they don't have enough detail on those houses. And that's where we come in. We come in and give a little bit more detail to things, like they should take care of this and take care of that. Sometimes we get in there and they're just missing parts.
Yep.
I mean, it's hilarious. The superintendent's like, oh, we got that on order. We got that on order. And they're just trying to catch up because there's still some supply issues.
Yeah, that's right. I've seen that and heard that through. Somebody was telling me the other day about a scenario. I'm trying to remember what that was. Can't come to mind here. But this is out of Florida Realtor Magazine. One of the Realtor magazines that I read pretty often is number one. It says, and this is talking about 11 game changers to elevate your business. So this is obviously geared towards realtors, but it says become a builder's best friend. Builders of spec homes represent a unique client base that generate multiple listing opportunities each year. The first step is to identify one of the biggest pain points builders have. That's finding lots. Okay, so as a realtor, hey, let's help you find the lots. I know you want to build some spec homes, so that's a good takeaway. And then finding lots. Second step is to find an area where builders are actively building spec homes, of course. But I like this one. It says the ones that are under construction, there's going to be a permit box outside. Open up that permit box and it'll have the builder's information in there. Okay. So contact that builder. That's one of the focuses that Lindsay and I have with our team, the Platinum MVP team, because as you know, we sold about 25% of these pre-construction condos up in Gainesville, and we just are looking at another project in Safety Harbor. But as a realtor, you're looking for ways to exponentially grow your business, and working with builders is exactly that.
It is.
Working with flippers, too, is kind of similar.
I don't mind working with builders. I've always had a good relationship with them. Gotten comments through the years that they appreciate. You know, some of them actually appreciate what we do.
Yes,
it's making their quality a little bit better, and we're giving them a to-do list.
Yep.
And most of the time, it's not anything crazy. Every once in a while, you run into something that, hey, that's really not right. So how'd you guys get past with this? But most of the time, it's not anything like that.
Speaking of that, I had to have our old friend Leo over to our house get a geoengineering report done on our home because unfortunately it looks like we're going to have to sue our builder on our home.
Yeah. Back patio or back balcony.
And you know what's funny? Talking to all the construction law attorneys, I've talked to like 3 or 4 of them. A couple of them had said, it's very often the balcony, and that's our back patio. The balcony from my office upstairs, the builder did not properly rain seal the post going down, so the rain just went through. So now we got a big old mess back there.
Wherever it was bolted in,
that's right.
It went on through.
Yeah, it went right through. So they didn't do a good job of what they were supposed to do. So that would, in my book, be called a construction defect. And I had to have, and whenever you go to a court case, they say, look, you have to have an engineering firm, come in and put together that type of thing. So. It's frustrating because, hey, here we are, 5 years. The house is just now 5 years, and we're having to deal with all this mess.
Yeah, absolutely.
So here I am dealing with a consumer type thing. But here, what's interesting, though, is you learn from all these different experiences, Jay. I've learned a lot.
I mean, I would still consider yours a new construction because it is not even 5 years old yet. But it's just interesting, even things like decks. And balconies in Florida, how bad they are. Mm-hmm. They don't build that many of them, really. Balconies, yes, when you got the concrete condos, but when it comes to houses, there's just not a tremendous amount of decks. You've always got just patios because we build so many houses just on the grade.
Yeah.
And being from up north, and I'm not saying we're better, but we just did a whole lot more decks, so we were used to doing it. And there were certain ways to do those. I kind of shake my head a lot down here.
Yeah, well, it's the construction attorneys agree with you. They say this is one of the biggest contention points in a lot of litigation in those areas. We're coming into our next break here, but when we come back, I want to touch on this Stephen A. clip Some of these guys, I'm like, stick to sports, stick to being an actor. But this one, really, he's well-spoken the way he points out
Speaking the truth.
On The View. Yeah, that's right. He says, I'm speaking the truth. We're going to talk about that. Also, I want to touch on that mold topic because we do have Rodrigo coming up next. Rodrigo Torres, Mold Solutions of Tampa Bay, specializing in mold remediation, of course, finding it. So we're going to talk a little bit about that with, of course, a lot of the homes in Tampa Bay affected right now. You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show. We greatly appreciate you. Follow us online at BrandonRimes1 at CQB Show. Consumer Quarterback Show page out there as well on YouTube and Rumble. Right back. Quick break.
Thanks for listening to my daddy's show. Please make sure to send him all of your real estate deals and subscribe to the Consumer Quarterback Show podcast on iTunes and Spotify, or check out our YouTube channel. Have a blessed day.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com.
Hey, Brandon Rimes here. Did you know that we buy houses cash? We will close quickly and give you a fair offer on your home or residential properties, even commercial properties, and we will give you a fair cash offer, close quickly, and be diligent when you're shopping these types of scenarios, because a lot of the wholesalers, the flippers out there, they will sign you up on an as-is contract, and they will shop that contract and try to find a buyer, but they may not find the buyer, and they won't close. So this is Brandon Rimes, 813-917-1894, consumerqb.com. Brandon Rimes, we buy houses cash and fast. Attention business owners, did you know we have 100% financing options available? Our no money down program offers 100% financing for business owners. If you are currently leasing your commercial space, you can purchase real estate for no money down. Additionally, the program offers money for working capital, equipment, and business fixtures. You can even pay off current business debt. Reach out at 813-917-1894. That is my direct cell. You can call or text 813-917-1894. BRimes at kw.com. And that is our 100% financing, no money down program for business owners. We would love to help you buying, selling, or investing in real estate. 813-917-1894. BRimes at kw.com.
You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rimes. Online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-917-1894.
All right, welcome back. Brandon Rimes here in studio. Quick shout out to our friends over at Brio Tuscan Grill, the official restaurant partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Excellent food, a wonderful ambiance, delicious food over there, very friendly staff. And they have specials for our audience. If you go in and you tell them you're a fan of the Consumer Quarterback Show, you're going to get hooked up over at Brio Tuscan Grill, International Plaza Mall, free appetizer, and they might even throw in a free water with lemon. Okay, they're going to hook you up
with no ice
over there.
What if I want lime? I want lime.
Ice in there if you want.
No ice.
You know, on the rocks, water on the rocks. Say hello to Chef Oscar. Let him know the real estate quarterback sent you. All right, we got Jay Smith in studio with us. A-Snoop Inspection. More coming up here in just a moment. Before we do one of our listings, we've got a beautiful listing here on the waterfront. 8107 Sierra Manor Lane. One of my favorite listings here. Beautiful property. You got 4-bedroom, 4-bath, 3-car garage, 2-story single-family home, over an acre of land. It's only one of 3 private homes in this private gated community. 65-year transferable warranty on a metal roof, Jay. I mean, that's an amazing opportunity for the roofing. 130 feet of private frontage, boat lift, boat dock, access to Tampa Bay. Bring your boats, bring your jet skis. Go out there and go catch some snook, some redfish, and enjoy that Florida lifestyle. 8107 Sierra Manor Lane in Tampa. You can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. All right, Stephen A. Smith, he is a ESPN analyst and just a personality, a little bit of a loudmouth. Some people might say Stephen A's a little bit of a loudmouth, David, but he nails Joey on this one.
It is a mandate, and I'm going to explain why. And I don't mind the question, but let me be very clear. I'm no supporter of Trump. I'm a supporter of truth and the facts. And here's the facts. The man won every swing state. He increased in terms of his voter turnout in his favor from the standpoint of blacks, Latinos, and young voters. He increased his numbers in that regard from 2020. 89% of the counties shifted to the right. That's a mandate. We can sit up there and play around all we want to. In 2020, Trump didn't win the popular vote. He didn't win the electoral college vote. A matter of fact, the Republicans hadn't won the popular vote, if I remember correctly, since 2004. Yeah. But they did this year. So 20 years after they last won the popular vote, they won the popular vote. They won the electoral college vote. The man won every swing state. And on top of it all, 89% of the counties shifted gears. I don't understand how people can look at that and say, there's no mandate. There's a mandate.
Yeah, so, and I just hope that the left continues on with some of the stuff that they're doing, because what they're pushing, nobody else is selling.
Well, it's not what the American people want.
Right.
I mean, if you just look at polls and say, okay, 77% believe this way, well, 77% is a pretty good number.
Yeah, exactly.
But, you might want to pay attention to it, but it just doesn't seem like they want to do that.
The men and women sports, I mean, that's an 80-20 issue. Why are they continuing to push that?
Yeah,
it seems like there's some radical left.
How many Americans have a daughter at home, like yourself? Like
yeah.
I have, 12-year-old girl at home.
Yeah.
And it's a difference.
Big time.
You're looking at that and say, I don't want my daughter to have to go through that.
It's absolutely ridiculous, and I hope they continue with their insanity, because we're going to just keep stacking up wins. Hopefully, J.D. Vance is next. But Jay, I wanted to get to this local area news. Again, we talk a lot about the local economy, local real estate. Mm-hmm. Jay Smith, A-Snoop Inspection. Your thoughts on mold right now, of course, with the recent storms and activity we've had?
Well, I mean, some of those houses that have been restored in some fashion, because we don't know exactly what they've done, are just now starting to come on the market. I mean, we're going to see this over the next 12 to 24 months, because some of them haven't been touched. Even getting, people are still waiting on permits. They may have torn it out. We don't know where they're going to stand. Are they even running the heating and air currently? I mean, if no one's living there, they're like, I'm not going to pay that. Or maybe the system's not working, that they're still working on trying to get it repaired.
Right.
If you're buying one of those homes, hey, there might be some good deals out there, but do your due diligence.
Yeah.
I mean, you might want to look at not only the home inspection, but also the mold inspection.
Yes, absolutely. And the challenge is, have they closed up the drywall before they should have?
Yes.
Did they run the HEPA filters as long as they should have? Mm-hmm. Did they properly treat? I mean, there could be some litigation down the line on this as well if people aren't doing it properly.
Well, and the other thing that scares me, I mean, we all know about all of the big investors out there in the world that are picking some of these homes up for, pennies on the dollar.
Yeah.
And are they going to actually restore them correctly?
Right.
I mean, I'm sure there's going to be some corners cut here and there,
right,
that you're going to need some good due diligence and hiring the right people to check those homes out.
Sure. Yeah, and then the big news also, Governor DeSantis and the state legislator talking about potentially significantly reducing or eliminating property taxes.
Yeah.
That's going to be huge. I mean, just imagine if that can come true. I mean, gosh, the number I pay is a big one. And, and here's the thing. We had Bernie Jacques on the show, state rep, local rep here out of Largo. Great guy, great story, by the way. Haitian that came into the country properly, and just an amazing story, strong conservative. But he was talking about, hey, we're crafting the language. We're putting the bill together right now, and that could be a real thing.
Well, what are their thoughts on the replacement of that money?
Well, the first thing is fraud and waste and abuse, right? Doge, Florida. So you have education. A lot of people don't realize how much fraud is in education, or not fraud, but replication and unnecessary layers of what do you call it? Like the
misappropriation of funds.
and just people that don't need to be there. You got all these layers of administrative and people that don't need to be there. Number two, recycling. Major scam. The American people have been scammed by recycling. Only 8 to 10, 12% of all stuff that you take the time to sort and you put in the box and you take it out to the curb and you separate it, only 8 to 10% of that actually gets recycled and reused. The other 90% or so ends up in the landfill.
Yep.
So cut that out.
And we're spending the time to do that.
Yeah, not only time and money and effort and energy. Jay Smith, A-Snoop Inspection, longtime friend of the show. How do you want people to connect with you, bud?
Office number is 813-345-2600. Find us at a-snoop.com. Come check us out.
The number one more time.
813-345-2600.
A-snoop.com. Jay Smith, longtime friend of the show. You can see his information as well at consumerqb.com, or call the show. We'll put you in touch as well. And coming up, we're going to talk mold solutions of Tampa Bay. Rodrigo Torres in studio with a special guest. We got I forgot the dog's name. Do you remember
Aspen.
Aspen, the dog's the mold sniffing dog in studio. Amazing what these dogs can find. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Hey, I'm Ken Shamrock, and you're here with Consumer Quarterback Show. And I say, Brandon Rhymes, knock out your competition.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1890. You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show. We're powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. We like to help you win in your real estate deals. If you're buying, selling, investing, refinancing, we would love to talk to you and help you win in your transactions there. We got Rodrigo Torres in studio with us, Mold Solutions of Tampa Bay. Also, Aspen, special guest in studio. We're going to get her on camera as well. Coming up, Ken Monroe, also the Ease Association. We're going to talk with Ken here in just a moment. Before we do, a couple of hot listings here. You know, we like to feature our properties on air. 1318 Roosevelt Drive. This one's in Venice, Florida, Gulf Coast, South Gulf Coast. Beautiful property, 322. So that's 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage. 1,853 square feet, single family home. You have no high HOA fees. Open concept, luxury vinyl flooring throughout, beautiful updated kitchen, lighter color kitchen cabinets, stainless steel appliances, a seamless flow in this home. You have a stunning pond views, no rear neighbors in the backyard. Great opportunity to purchase real estate. 1318 Roosevelt Drive, Venice, Florida. Beautiful home, circle driveway as well. Beautiful, beautiful property. 10711 Old Sycamore Loop. I love this one as well. Large family home, 2-story home, 4-bedroom, 2.5-bath, 2-car garage, 46 square foot kitchen that is, again, lighter colors. People really love those white cabinets, lighter colors, tile floor. You have a large lanai, 10 by 16 lanai, and you also have a large backyard, fenced-in backyard, and the family and the kids can play out there. You got a dog, that'd be awesome. Community has a pool with 0 depth entry, playground, hiking trail, and extra wide paved walking paths. 10711 Old Sycamore Loop, Land O'Lakes, Florida. Another one of our beautiful listings, and you can see all of our properties at platinummvpteam.kw.com. All right, Rodrigo, welcome back in, sir.
Thank you. Good to be back.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming in, and yeah, you know, a lot going on in the mold space.
Absolutely.
Yeah, coming off these storms.
And Aspen here, she did a great job this week. She actually found it was very interesting because she lays down whenever she finds the mold.
Got it.
And she sniffs it. She points at it with her nose, and she'll just stay still.
Okay.
And she happened to indicate a wall that there was no visible indication that there was mold. But sure enough, when we cut that wall, there was quite a bit of mold behind it that nobody would have seen.
Wow.
Right? And so that's what I love about the mold dogs is they have a nose to they have that sense that we don't have.
Yeah.
And they're able to detect something that we will never see.
It's amazing. The dog senses are something like thousands of times more powerful than ours. And I watch some of those. I love to watch some of the cop shows on TV and the border crossings. And man, they'll catch those suckers every time. And they got something they're not supposed to have. Those dogs know. And the one I saw on TV, they just kind of sat near it and says, "Oh, when she sits, that means that they have fruit or whatever they were bringing in the country that they shouldn't have." But so it's important to have, you know, if you're a mold company out there, to have a dog like this. And if the company that they may be working with does not have a dog, then they might be missing stuff. Is that a safe?
Yeah, there's many things you could do to detect mold. For consumers, for the average homeowner, you can use your nose and sniff if there's any musty smell. That's an indication, a very pungent, musty smell.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you see water staining, cracking, bubbling, separation on baseboards, especially after the hurricanes, you'll see that under windowsills where the water came in. And so we use moisture meters. We use the dog. We use our eyes. We use our there's many things we look for, but the dog is very special.
Yeah. I hear you, man. For the homeowners that you've talked to that have been, dealing with these issues, the mold issues, can you walk us through a scenario or what you've seen, how that kind of plays out, what's involved in that, what it's entailed?
Yeah, absolutely. So primarily what we're hearing from homeowners, renters who are experiencing some symptom, which is a health related. They're coughing, they're sneezing, headaches, brain fog, trouble sleeping, something's going on, right?
Yeah,
and their body is telling them,
right,
there's something in my body that shouldn't be there, a contaminant, a virus. And a lot of our referrals come from doctors,
right?
Because you could test for mold in your bloodstream, you could do a urine test or a blood test, and it'll tell you if you have mold toxicity.
Gosh.
And so those doctors will tell the client to come have us come out and inspect the home.
Wow.
And so a lot of what we're getting is people who, especially after the hurricanes, they didn't think much of it. They're not educated on the subject of the harmful effects of mold toxicity.
Yep.
And they start experiencing all sorts of strange symptoms, and a lot of things started turning on after the hurricanes.
Wow.
For homeowners and
Sure.
such. And so we've been finding in every case where we get one of those calls, we find it whether it's in the HVAC system, the ducts, behind walls, under the floor, furniture.
Yeah. It's terrible.
Yeah.
Mold Solutions in the house. Rodrigo Torres, Mold Solutions of Tampa Bay, moldsolutions.com. And reach out to the hotline if you'd like to get in contact with any of our show partners, any of our expert contributors, 813-917-1894. Call or text 813-917-1894. We got Aspen in studio, man's best friend, mold's worst enemy.
That's right.
I love that. So when you think about this mold problem that we have in Tampa Bay now, and it's really just the entire Gulf Coast of Florida at this point with the multiple hurricanes that we've seen year after year. It's a pretty big number of properties that are affected, and I imagine you're seeing quite a bit of it.
Absolutely. So I'm going to maybe 3 homes a day.
Wow,
which is quite a bit.
Yeah.
And so there's quite a bit of, and I think you kind of brought this up in the earlier interview of people not having the dry out done properly. People not cutting out moldy material. And I just had a homeowner who's trying to sell. There's just no way around proper remediation.
Right.
There's no way around it.
Right.
It's not something you can just spray on the surface. It's not something you can just kind of hope it goes away.
Yeah.
It doesn't, right? And we're talking months later after the hurricane. Mm-hmm. And that same wall that got flooded months and months ago is still wet.
Wow.
To this day,
yeah.
Right? And you would think it would dry just because it's getting warmer, and no, it's there's a certain way you have to deal and treat these situations to really get rid of it.
Yeah.
And she couldn't sell the house because there was a smell.
Wow.
You walk in and it's very strong. It's just unavoidable.
So that's a firsthand experience that you've seen of somebody that thought they did the right thing, but they actually didn't know what they were doing, or their contractor may not have done it the proper way. Because to do it right, I mean, I've talked to Jason Avery on the show, Avery Construction, Avery Remodeling, and he's one of the best experts, I would say, in the area in terms of construction. And he said, yeah, man, I mean, when you go through the checklist, there's HEPA filters involved, and it's a certain type of chemicals that you're using.
Correct.
Right, to do the remediation.
That's right.
Not just standard bleach. Some people think bleach will do it, but it won't, right?
Yeah, especially on porous surfaces, bleach is going to make it worse.
What would be an example of the porous surface?
Even wood framing, right?
Yeah. Because it can go in there.
Yeah.
It's going to penetrate.
If you treat something on a tile, that's fine. But when you're dealing with porous material,
mm-hmm.
bleach is not a good solution.
Yeah.
It won't do the trick.
Yeah.
So we use botanical products that are industry grade and very reliable. And we use white vinegar is good for the average homeowner.
Yep.
Much better than bleach.
Yep.
There's various things you have to do to fully take care of a mold issue.
Right.
And so it's the dry out, it's the cut out, it's the treatment, it's air filtration, it's the HVAC, it's the ducts. There's a number of things that will affect the air quality in the home.
Yeah.
And so this is what we're taking care of, and it's amazing to see the before and afters once that home is healthy again, and the people in it could finally sleep. They could, the symptoms go away. They feel the health restored, and the home is now safe to live in.
Clock. Need a clock. So Rodrigo, let me ask you this, because there's an interesting program. So this program is called a 203H, natural disaster. It's a 203H. I want to get this one in because for people that were affected by the storms, when you look at issues with the storms, this is a really unique program because it provides 100% financing for anybody that was affected with a natural disaster. Could be tenants, could be owners, of course, landlords. If you were affected by a natural disaster, flood, fire, any type of natural disaster, then this program called a 203H allows for 100% financing. So help me spread the word. I'm trying to spread the word out there. What a great program, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, our federal government does a lot of things, some people would say, not great, terrible, good. But this is one that they did good. And that and the veteran loans, giving 100% financing for them is another, big advantage.
Yeah, any help you can get, because these projects are not cheap, as we all know. So any aid that you can get from the government, from insurance, from FEMA, anywhere you could turn to for help.
Yeah.
Where we come in is we'll help provide any documentation that the homeowner needs to really back up their case and indicate that, yes, there's an issue there.
Got it.
That needs financial assistance.
Yeah.
And so we're happy to help anyone with that.
I love it. All right. So that's Rodrigo Torres, Mold Solutions, Tampa Bay, moldsolutions.com. And special guest Aspen in studio, taking a much needed break down there on the floor. But Tampa Bay's only mold detection K9, Mold Solutions Tampa Bay. Great website, great conversation. Thanks for coming in. And how else do you want people to connect with you?
Yeah, you can check us out on the website, moldsolutions.com, or reach us at 727-276-4787.
All right, 276-4787. That's a Pinellas County number. And you can also reach our show hotline online at consumerqb.com, or reach out to the show hotline as well. The 813-917-1894 is the local number. Support the local economy by supporting the Consumer Quarterback Show. All of our expert contributors. Rodrigo Torres, thanks for coming in, man.
You got it. Thank you.
All right, my pleasure. Coming up, Ken Monroe, the Ease Association. We're going to talk technology, how he can help you with your business. Ken Monroe coming up, AI bots, streamlined technology, and all types of other interesting tech products and services that he can bring to your business. Coming up, Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
This is Work Done, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show, hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-917-1894.
All right, welcome back. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. We like to tell you something good. We're going to do a couple of stories, and we're going to tell you our feel-good story. A parting loving senior celebrates 105th birthday with a DJ and a rave. So there you go, 105th. We're going to talk about that coming up here in just a minute. Before we do, a couple of our hot listings. We like to feature our real estate properties live on air. Maximum exposure for our listings helps us sell them faster for more money with less headaches. We get a property at 14135 Cypress Circle. This one's in Carrollwood. We have a lovely villa here, villa-style condo, Cypress Clusters, Carrollwood Village. 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-carport, 1,308 square foot, single-family home. 14135 Cypress Circle in Tampa. You have lighter color kitchen. People really love the lighter colors, the white cabinets, lighter color granite, stainless steel appliances. Community pool as well. Great opportunity at 14135 Cypress Circle, Tampa. 2480 Baywood Drive East. This one's in Dunedin, Florida. Beautiful, beautiful area. People really love Dunedin, Florida. This property went pending, but it's back on market now. 2480 Baywood Drive East in Dunedin, Florida. 221, 1367 square foot, 0.15 lot. You have Pinellas Trail just moments away. Hurricane damaged home, so bring your offers to 2480 Baywood Drive, East Dunedin, Florida. Great opportunity to renovate and rent, or potentially renovate and flip. 2480 Baywood Drive, East Dunedin, Florida. One of our 60-plus listings. You know, we list vacant land, commercial, residential properties, also helping you with your refinancing, purchase loans. So reach out to the show. We'd love to help you. And you can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. That's right. Shout out to our veterans out there. We love our veterans, you know, first responders, teachers, nurses, seniors. We're giving discounts and helping them out as best we can on our transactions for any veterans out there. And my father was actually an MP in the Army. And, you know, it's kind of interesting because you don't really get that second generation of benefits, you know, when it comes to the military. But kind of talked off air to some of my friends that are in the military about that. Yeah, so here we go. Here's our feel-good story of the day.
Tell me something good.
All right, so Hilda Jackson, a lively 105-year-old from Derbyshire, England, celebrated her milestone birthday with a rave at her care home, swapping her walker for glow sticks. She danced to disco tunes, enjoyed a gin and tonic, and partied with 70 guests, including a rap performance. So Nottingham rapper Bruce C., who she also loves tennis and has been lived through 22 prime ministers, shared her secret of longevity, staying active and enjoying life. She advises others to keep battling. She says, keep batting, she says. Feel good story. Party-loving senior celebrates 105th birthday with a DJ and a rave. There you have it, our feel good story of the day. And we always like to talk about that. Now, our producers here, too, we're excited about this Buccaneer football season. Todd, Dave, and I were talking about, you know, covering more of these Bucs games. And, you know, did you realize it's the Buccaneers football season coming up is the 50th season as a team. And wow, what 50 years fly by there, right? I mean, think about that. And what's interesting, too, is my cousin, actually, Paul Dombrowski, he played in the 80s. He was a defensive back for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers back in the creamsicle days. And kind of a funny story. I was probably 8, 9, 10 years old when I would see I would go to visit my Nana, and I would see pictures of him in his football uniform. And I just always remembered the Bucs weren't that good of a team. I just kind of knew I was 10, 11 range. And I always used to think, he must not be that good because he plays for the Bucs, you know, not knowing that bad teams had great players and great teams have bad player or whatever, you know. But yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting. So Buccaneers coming up season, there's a 50 season, celebrating 50 seasons as a team. And key free agents, you know, the key to this year is going to be if we can retain some of this talent. You know, we've got Levante David, Shaquille Barrett, Chris Godwin, Sterling Shepard as key free agents. And the NFL has set its salary cap for the 2025 season and has yet to taken yet another big year-over-year leap, but landed at $279.2 million, right? And a significantly higher number than other teams have been anticipating. So, man, that's a lot of money floating around. And you look at some of the other, teams, and it translates into baseball too, because we talk about the Tampa Bay Rays, we talk about the challenges that we have as far as that salary cap. Right. You know, some of these other teams, I mean, they're outspending us. What did Mike Murphy say the other day? Like 5-1, 4-1, something like that.
It was like the Yankees of old.
The Yankees, the Yankees outspending the Rays, in other words, 5 to 6 times. Some of the big market teams, you know, they just have more money to throw around, and I think that's a benefit for them, obviously, and that's a detriment to the sport. The sport needs to be a little bit more equal, and, you know, kind of see how that plays out. But you know, going back to real estate here, when you look at the stats right now, I just kind of want to bring this all home. We talked a lot about mold today with Jay Smith, A-Snoop Inspections, Rodrigo Torres, Mold Solutions in Tampa Bay. When you're buying a property and you see that there's mold affecting that property, you want to make sure you get a home inspection and a mold inspection, and make sure that the property was properly renovated. The inventory levels are still low. Here's Hillsborough County. I'm sorry, rising, not low. They're rising. 5,900 active properties in Hillsborough County. And if you divide that by the number of solds, which was 1,069 last month, that gives us an 18% absorption rate, which is a new low. That's a new low for the absorption rate, and a 5.5 month supply of inventory. So you have 5.5 month supply of inventory, which is a new high. So the inventory is rising. You have these changing demographics, changing markets in Tampa Bay. So it's interesting to see kind of how that plays out. But we would love to help you if you're buying, selling, investing, navigating those waters. Reach out to the team. Reach out to the show, 813-917-1894. Call or text 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com. Thank you so much for tuning in. We want you to please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. Do something kind for one another. Be a force for good in the community. And we'll see you next time here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rimes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Call Brandon Rimes at 813-917-1894.